Ladies and gentlemen, and boys and girls, you're watching yet another episode of Eric Lima Shenanigans 1977. It's time for WWE Evolve Event Center, where wrestling action involves the WWE ID prospects, the PC prospects, and indie wrestlers from all over the world. Ladies and gentlemen, and here's the man to bring you the wrestling report and action from the WWE Evolve Event Center, Mr. Eric M. Lima. Thank you very much, Mr. Announcer, sir. Well, hello there, everyone. Welcome to yet another episode of Eric Lima Shenanigans, 1977, episode 2542 of the show. How's it going, everybody? I just got done watching AEW Dynamite September to Remember. That's right. As you know, Collision won't be on this Saturday, so because they did a 3-hour special, and we will get to that. We will get to that shortly. We'll get to that on the next episode of the show, I should say. I want to try to see if I can round up everything before I go to bed, even though I'm going to probably go to bed a little late. In fact, we're halfway through this week, and give me a second here, folks. All right. I want to make sure I put the calendar on check here, because we're halfway through this week. The final full week of summer 2025, I will do a Shenanigans Statements of the Statesman on that this coming Sunday. In fact, we have a lot of ground to cover this week because we did Rant and Rave, of course. Brandon Martin, William Braun, Michael Mabardier, and myself were joined by our special guest co-host, filling in for Jordy Scow, Mr. Hank Nova. I want to thank Hank Nova. You know, he made us laugh, and we had a good time. Sometimes, you know, we're like, what the heck are you thinking, boy? But he was hilarious, and he was a good co-host, and really proud of Hank Nova. He did an awesome job. A hand for Hank Nova. A shenanigans applause for Mr. Hank Nova. Congratulations. He did well as a co-host, as a guest co-host, and I'm sure if we could call on you again to make us laugh, that's the way we do it. All right? And we had a lot to talk about, and it's getting crazy. WrestlePalooza, the first PLE event for ESPN on the way this Saturday. I'm looking forward to it. And kind of found out my eBay order. One of my eBay orders will be coming in tomorrow, I think, unless, you know, sometimes, you know, you jump ahead and everything else, and a little bit of that, and a little bit of this, and all this good stuff. So let's talk about WWE Evolve. The Vanity Project was kicking off Evolve, and they decided to wanted to prove their dominance, and decided to have an 8-person tag team matchup, first in the WWE, an 8-person tag match, which could involve men and women in this match. So the Vanity Project's Swipe Right, Bryce Donovan, and Zeta Steele went up against Dante Chen, Super Sean Legacy, Draco Knox, and Tyra May Steele. So the ladies of Steel, you know. If the Vanity Project ever broke up and Zeta Steele became a face, and Tyra May Steele needs a opponent, the Sisters of Steel. That's what they should call themselves. Well, anyways, they took on the Vanity Project and, you know, Jackson Drake at ringside. It seems like Jackson Drake's trying to do whatever it takes to hold on to that Evolve Men's Championship, and it's just no competition getting in his way. But, however, the team of Tyra May Steele, Dante Chen, Draco Knox, and Super Sean Legacy picked up the victory over the Vanity Project. And then Chewy Martinez interviewing Aaron Rourke and Marcus Mathers. They're going to try to test their skills as a team as they go up against the team of It's Gal and Jamar Hampton. And Carly Bright was talking to Kendal Gray and about Wendy Choo and how to deal with her and how to make her say those 2 words, because ever since Wendy Choo became this dark, sleepy psycho, she has not said a word. You know, so with that being said, so and Kendall Gray is declaring that she'll make and Wendy Choo say the word, and so she was training with Carly Bright to help her with that. Tate Wilder was talking to Sean Legacy. Legacy gave him some advice, and Tate Wilder nodded his head, goes, "You know what? I'm going to do it. I'm trying to get back in the saddle." And then the team of Marcus Mathers and Eric Rourke, two WB ID prospects against another one in It's Gal, and then you got the LFG Season 1 contestant Jamar Hampton in a tag matchup, and it seems like It's Gal and Hampton ended up winning the matchup. Will they be able to, will this new team be successful? It looks like It's Gal trying to get Jamar Hampton into the bodybuilding and the shades, so I think they're having some cooking up here. Who knows? And then the Vanity Project still upset, that they lost the matchup. But then Jackson Drake confronts Bryce Donovan. He says, "You want to see an enforcer? You'll see an enforcer." And they're like, "What the heck did they mean by that?" I'm trying to look at the timer. What the heck does he mean by that? Who knows what with Bryce Donovan, and Bryce Donovan usually is a silent one, but it seems like to me he's starting to step up a little bit. So with the personality and charisma, so who knows? Is he going to Prime Minister Stevie Turner and said, "Hey, I want a match. I want to prove myself and all, to the Vanity Project and all." Who knows? And then there was the I Quit match between Kendall Gray and Wendy Choo. And for a minute there, I thought when Wendy Choo left the Post-it note, and I thought it said, "I quit math." I'm like, "You quit math? Would you do? Having trouble with the number crunching?" No, I quit match. Kendall Gray and Wendy Choo. These two ladies went at it, and Kendall Gray started showing a little bit of her athletic amateur background in this matchup, and with she starts doing the ankle locks. You probably sees Kurt Angle and Ken Shamrock do it millions of times. And she finally got a submission hold on the ground. And Wendy Choo tried to use a steel chair. It wasn't working. Kendall Gray never gave up. Finally got that submission, and then like a sleeper hold type submission. And Wendy Choo yelled those words, "I quit." And Kendall Gray has won the matchup. Probably put her one step closer from being the Evolve Women's Champion, Callie Armstrong. I like to see that matchup, so we'll see what happens there. I'm going less than 3 minutes ago. I'm trying to get this at least 10 minutes. So tomorrow is going to be tomorrow's no rant and rave because Brandon had his PA system on PA duties, and Jordy Scow is on vacation. He'll be back. Everything will be back to normal next week. A week from tomorrow will be the regular start time, the regular day. Jordy Scow will be hosting it, and Michael William and myself will join him. Will we have another special guest co-host? Who knows? Filling in for Brandon. Who knows for sure? But we did great with Hank Nova, and also that is the deal. So tomorrow, but the next episode we'll talk about AEW Dynamite September 3. Remember the final Dynamite before All Out this coming this Saturday at 3 o'clock. So it's going to be a heck of an event for sure. Heck of an event for sure. I'm really excited about, like I said, this is, WWE is going to get more interesting with the TNA. With the TNA collaboration, it's gotten to get worse, so to speak. Because some of the folks in TNA who were part of the NXT Black and Gold at one point, like the Iconics, aka the Inspiration, and Steve Macklin and such, were not very happy that they weren't invited. And even Xia Li was Lee, Xia Brookside, they were part of that Black and Gold too at one point. So, and then it got worse when Grayson Waller says, "You know what? I'm going to see him try to make a winner-take-all matchup. Winner will face Ricky Saints at No Mercy." I got a feeling that once this match happens this Tuesday, I think you're going to see this Tuesday's NXT will be the final NXT before No Mercy. So either then or No Mercy, we could see a full-scale TNA invasion. Send a message. It could lead, and it could be the first time in Survivor Series history with War Games that War Games won't be contested under will be contested not the War Games could get. Let's try it again. If this leads to a War Games matchup, and since Survivor Series has the War Games, this could be the first War Games matchup in Survivor Series history. It was the first time in Survivor Series history that a War Games match will not involve Raw or SmackDown superstars. And I'll tell you one thing, and that could be a big, big deal. You put TNA in the world spotlight and NXT in that spotlight. Give those two the spotlight, and give those two brands a spotlight, and boom, you got something. We'll find out for sure. That's what I meant to say. So, that's all the time that we have. 2,542. On the next episode, it'll be 2,543, and we'll talk about AEW in September to remember AEW Dynamite. So I'll see you guys later. You guys have a wonderful, blessed day. Until next episode comes rolling around, Mr. Announcer, take us home. That is all for today's episode of the show. This is Mr. Announcer speaking for Eric Lima Shenanigans of 1977. A Big Beefy E and door for Bob Saget production, and in association with a Raving Bull for 3000 Telepictures and Distribution. Thank you for watching another episode of Eric Lima Shenanigans of 1977. See you later on the next episode of the show. Goodbye for now.